Even the bishop could not lift that Holy Eucharist. In 1125, at Bettrin, Germany, there was a small farm, Webrin. The place was naturally called Webrin, owing to a communal well used by livestock to quench their thirst. The owner of the farm was a person deeply devoted to the Most Holy Sacrament. It would usually take him 1.5 hours to reach his parish church for the Holy Mass. Consequently, there were days he couldn't make it to church. Filled with love for God, he resolved to steal the sacred host, driven by a desire to converse and worship Jesus perpetually. One day, after receiving the Holy Eucharist on the tongue, he discreetly wrapped it in a cloth. And right after Mass, he hurried back to his farm. He then made a small opening on the top end of a stick and placed the sacred host there. He carried the stick around with great reverence. Every day, when the livestock were resting, he stuck his stick into the ground and would pray on his knees for hours. Months passed by. One day, his cows began to wander away from him. He tried to keep them together, but his efforts were in vain. In a fit of rage, he hurled his stick at the cows without thinking. This caused the sacred host to fall from the stick. He fell to his knees before the sacred host and started crying. In tears, he tried to retrieve the Holy Eucharist. No matter how many attempts he made, he just could not lift the Holy Eucharist off the ground. Hearing the farmer's cry, a crowd gathered there. His parish priest also arrived at the scene. He too attempted to retrieve the Holy Eucharist, but was unsuccessful. Later, the Bishop of Regensburg arrived at the scene as well. Even the bishop could not lift the Holy Eucharist. In the end, the farmer made a heartfelt vow saying, "Lord, for the adoration and worship of the Blessed Sacrament, I shall build a church here." Instantly, the Holy Eucharist lifted from the ground and gently rested in the bishop's hands. In solemn procession, the sacred host was carried to the parish church and displayed for veneration. In 1125, on the farm where the Eucharistic miracle had occurred, a church dedicated to the Holy Saviour was built and the sacred host was installed there. Today it's a major pilgrimage center. Lord, who at the simple farmer's request chose to be enthroned on his farm, turn our hearts into worthy dwelling places for you as well. O Sacrament most holy, O Sacrament divine, all praise and all thanksgiving be every moment thine.